I'm happy to have you on our webinar. Today, we will talk about how to conduct UX audit and to do it in the right way. My name is Anton Voroniuk, and today we will talk a lot about UX. We have a great guest, but before he starts and before I introduce him, I want to tell a little bit about us, about the great ability that you have starting all activities with digital marketing with us. And I'll just share a screen and tell a little bit about approach we have in our digital marketing education. As you already know, we have our main educational activity on our Udemy. You can find this information just going to udemy.com, find Anton Voroniuk, and here we have 15 different courses on digital marketing topics. We have already 300,000 students from 190 countries, so we are happy to see some of you here live. If you want to make your digital marketing more successful, you can just enroll in one of courses. We have really big courses: digital marketing strategy, social media, SEO, but also topical courses such as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook ads, Facebook, etc. Today, our email marketing course got the page highest rated. We love such pages, and we are happy to announce that in the nearest future, you will get from us 15 more courses. So this is our Udemy approach. At the same time, we've started our own sales, and on our platform skillsbooster.net, you can find the course Digital Marketing Specialist, which will start on the September 20th. This course combines both videos and webinars. You will get live feedback from myself. You will get 1 hour of my personal content, and I will give you advice how you can build your digital marketing specialist career and how you can start all this stuff together. So this is about us, and I'm happy to introduce you our speaker. It's Maxim Chuvurin. Max is a great expert in UX. He working in this field over 5 years. His portfolio is really great. It's not just about e-commerce project, but for other businesses too. And Max will share with us idea how to start UX audit, how to do it in the right way, and how to do it without common mistakes which anyone who start their UX audits usually make. So Max, hi, how are you?
Hi, Anton. Thank you. Thank you so much. Everything's great. I think like everybody as well as the same. Thanks.
Thank you. So you can share the screen and start sharing your knowledge and your case studies. We are happy to have you on our webinar.
Yes, let me share my screen. Yes, can you see it?
Yeah, everything okay, you can start.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So as Anton says, my name is Max, thanks. And I'm the senior UX BA analyst at Turum-Burum. Today, I would like to tell you about how to conduct a UX UI audit in 2022. Well, first of all, I would like to explain who we are and what we do. So Turum-Burum is UX UI company that has been developing and designing interfaces for 13 years now. What we actually do, our main idea, so we increase the revenue of e-commerce project using UX and UI. 12 out of top 30 Ukrainian e-commerce projects have been designed and launched by our team. Our portfolio includes over 300 design projects to make for the market of Ukraine, the US, the UK, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, and so on. And we provide digital product with more than 140 something like this UX audit. So we know how to do this. Turum-Burum is the only Ukrainian company that has become a Google UX partner. Also, we cooperate with Bimert Institute, Optimizely, CXL, and Hotjar. So what the main idea? The main idea that we focus on data. That is the best way to demonstrate the effectiveness of our team. As Edwards Deming once said, without data, you are just another person with an opinion. So we strongly agree with this statement, and therefore we are focused on figures, make all of our decision based on analytical data, and measure that result of our work in quantitative terms. Yeah, so there you can see some projects in our portfolio and rise like after the launch. And once we start talking about figures, let's look at some worldwide statistics. Interface optimization is a relatively new approach compared to traditional methods. The first professional optimization tool was released, well, I think like 13 years ago, and that influenced the rapid development of interface optimization after it. Today, there are more than 4,000 conversion optimization agencies you can see on Clunch. It means that year by year, more and more people become focused on business goals and KPI rather than on the visual appearance and their own vision of the product while they're making their products. What is actually UX audit and why do you need it? That's the way to find problem points in the product, not only based on user pain and issues, but also flagged by the metrics and conversions indicates. In other words, it is what you need to pay close attention to. There you can see like the whole process that we built in our company, that how this work, and that is the UX process. So let's discuss this. This is it starts with collecting requirements in order to conduct a UX audit. It is necessary to immerse yourself in the subject matter. As long as you don't work with the product, you don't know like the whole thing. It is crucial to understand business requirements, user demands, and specific problems the product solves in order to clarify and understand the project you are dealing with. Along with this comes the stage of interface and best practices analysis. So we check how the requirements are satisfied on your own side and how the same requirements are realized on the best practice side. Beyond that comes the collection and analysis of quantitative data to supplement the interface hypothesis and flows that we have found. Collecting qualitative data too. There is like you can use like heat maps, session recorders, like clicks, so on. So we get visual and quantitative data that allows us to build more like strong hypotheses and implementation like to test. So the data provides insights into whether those hypotheses impact actually user behavior and metrics. That is basically everything we build is hypotheses, and they need to be confirmed. That's actually the main thing. After that, we can get the result. It can be repeatedly analyzed, that you can see at this structure, and so forth all over again, so you can get like the best result for your data. So let's start from the like first point, that's collecting requirements. So why that's needed? That helps to define the objective of the UX audit. Like what exactly is the audit done for? The audit is conducted when the business may already have defined thoughts about what the problems are. The collection of requirements help us understand what kind of product is in front of us, its mission, and the business goal. It helps us determine what the key metrics of the product are. Also, it helps us to learn what the metrics are like positive and like their indicator, and what the business is like striving to achieve, like what the measure of this metric. Like this way, you understand the trends and what can be changed in the interface to improve those metrics. At this stage, you can get or ask for user context to understand what the problem they are solving using this product or site, and what like challenges they experience on their journey. So that's the second way, like to get user requirements. All this will help to create a list of tasks, line them up in the definite flow, according to which go through the site and independently evaluate the product. So you can in your own experience understand what the problems are by using others flow. Also, it is crucial to deep into the subject and understand the terms along with it, with all the specifics. Besides that, after passing a beginner journey, you can independently determine what challenges the customer may still experience during the independent study of the product. Well, let's move to the interface analysis. That's the way how we by using our experience, we can get insight from the product. So what is the product? What is the process? So there are product usage scenario based on the customer needs. This can be micro and macro conversions. Like micro and macro conversions will share separate steps of the funnel, or will be different branches of this funnel, like different parts. Like for example, a complete checkout from the first entry point to the thank you page on the checkout, if we're talking about e-commerce. Alternatively, it can be simple feedback form, like asking customer to leave their contacts. That will be also a conversion, yet a shorter one. And that is an example of different product usage scenarios. Like quick order is a branch line not to forget about, and be sure to test and go through it independently. Keep in mind that the customer journey can start from different landing pages, depending on whether the customer know about the product or not. For a regular customer, the landing will be on the homepage. It is a new customer, they can if it is a new customer, they can go straight from organic traffic to the product list or a specific product cart, like not from the homepage. So that could be like a different flow, and that will cut their journey, yet the customer may have difficulties with further navigation. So you have to keep in mind these differences in the navigation of user. So moreover, user can come to the site from different devices, or use various applications on Android, iOS, etc. So the problems can lie in the differences and in the interface and the ease of navigation. They can differ a lot. What else should you pay attention to when looking through the visual interface? Obviously, we want to go through all the positive variation now, but let's look at some of the key point, I would say. How many steps does the user take to complete the task? Ideally, this number should be minimal. So we have to cut this user flow into normal and useful flow and minimal steps. The user should clearly understand where he or she is, what he or she should do further. I mean, the whole navigation should be controlled, even at the very first landing. I can control and manage all the things here. It's when the user feel most comfortable interacting with the interface. Every single element should be intuitive, to control it. Well, also target action must be call to action. However, cliche that might be sound, but they must sound like verb. Something need to be done, and thus add to cart, not just cart. Use clean, obvious message that grab the user's attention and drive them into the next step. Your content has to aim for a target action as well. If you sell goods, add supporting concept to help the user understand the product and motivate them to buy. All the website content should encourage the user to take the targeted action expected of them. So they have to understand what the main idea of product and be sure that they need their product. No dead ends in the funnel. If the user faces some error or problem, there should be a way to give user ways to navigate and more from the dead end error they face. So our job is redirect them to somewhere else. Like, for example, if it is like, let it be like product cart with only one item and no other variants. But if the user doesn't like it, most likely they will exit the navigation at that exact point. In the interface, it is crucial to consider the experience of both new and regular users. So the interface should not be only for experienced user or only for newcomers. Consider that some information might be like extra in some lack instead. So you have to think about this as well. For regular user, that can be provide simplification. Like, for example, it can be the use of favorites. For like newcomers, they can be helpful prompts, guides, and explanation of like how to cope with some filters, or like what happen by clicking on a certain button, something like this, to make them sure that everything under control and how this works. So they should become to the next level from the new to regular use. However, it's non-intrusive for regular user. Like newcomers will go through the journey of the regular user and get engaged in the second part. Yeah, also now you can see here is a guide not to get lost in actions. So we have prepared a checklist that I especially used, that is about 170 plus items designed to help you pay attention to the critical points in the user journey on the key website pages. So you can use it for your personal audit due to a large number of different interface issues described. On top of that, most of those issues are focused directly on e-commerce projects because that's our main topic, but it could be transferred for the other product because yeah, they have like the similar ideas inside it. So you can scan it and use for your own products. Yeah, let's move on. Our next step into UX audit, that's the best practice analysis. So what it is for, a number of site example are market leaders, not just because of the domain traffic, but because they solve a lot of like quality problems. By using the similar web service, you can identify them and take like just at least three to find examples of solution to the hypothesis you built. Also, the reference will help you generate additional hypotheses when conducting an audit of your site. Also, they help find visual solutions to use on your website as proof of the hypothesis that need to be done. Also, they have determined the logical structure, like an example, like how this or that tool should work, at what exact moment, at what stage an element should appear, and why certain things should work in such a way or it shouldn't work. Like thanks to best practice, you may already have some ready-made solutions, and even if you don't, something in these references will help you to understand like how it can be designed. So that could be helpful. Well, we talk about like hypotheses. Let's deep dive a bit into what's actually hypothesis and like what they might look like. So hypothesis is an assumption on how to influence specific project like metrics. Like to influence a metric, you need a hypothesis plus a pitch of context. Like for example, to increase the average order value, you need to add a block of a similar product to the product page. To increase the conversion rate, you need to reduce the number of fields in the checkout page. So globally, it sounds like that. So you can see like this is hypothesis, this is recommendation. So if we add something, user can do something better, faster, or easier, and therefore we should see some metrics, some conversion rate increase or some KPI decrease if we're talking about like bounce rate or something like this, if it is okay for this metric. And recommendation to this hypothesis must be added as well. So this is our detailed description of what the hypothesis should include, perhaps with a short prototype or some visual examples, like from best practice. This example could be like, taken from some visual references, so that you can not just discuss the text hypothesis with your team or like your client, but also see the concept and appearance of what can be implemented and discuss the final visual result. That's also could be helpful. And like when forming hypotheses, we take into account metrics and individual conversions. Therefore, we need to analyze more quantitative data. It is done not only to complete the hypothesis, but also to identify the problem that user face within the quantitative data, like find negative and positive trends while finding explanation for them in the interface. Like we can start the audit with the visual part, while we can start the audit with the quantitative part and then turn to the visual part as an explanation of what the problem is. So I recommend personally doing this like together, checking the data and conducting a visual site audit simultaneously, because that's the main idea, to better understand visual part and the actual user behavior in data. So what tools can be used to collect quantitative data? Well, I would say that depends on like business and market. Well, I personally use in like most of the product of our projects that Google products, but also we can use Adobe. So like we have a lot of different tools, and they allow to gather site analytics, and those can be like used for a standard like trivial reports and for analyzing the retrieved data. So you can collect data like wherever you want, but like the main tools that you can face, that's like in my own experience, that the Google products. So why do you need these tools? Tools are needed to get issue indicators and new insights to understand the problem point based on the data and try to find them on the site. In addition, we can use digital data confirmation of metrics or conversion to prove visual issues. We can notice that there is a problem on the site. The user engagement rate is like extremely low and the conversion rate is not high enough. Accordingly, there are a number of issues. Well, let's talk a little about some instruments and indicators that we think about. So the most significant indicators are macro conversion and micro conversion. You can see them in the goals section in the Google Analytics if you set them. But well-toned analytics are the best way to understand the effectiveness of your project. So what is the difference between macro and micro conversion? So like you first see a sales funnel. This is the transition from the like entrance point of this example. That's you can see like main page to the catalog page, then to the product page and checkout page. This is a macro conversion. Login into the site and successful ordering. And micro conversion is just the transforming from the one page to another, from the one page to the next, from the one step to the next step of this funnel. That could be micro conversion. Well, here is an example on how you can influence into like micro conversion. That's also could give you some really good numbers. On the product list in this example of our market Ukrainian shop, there were like two prices in the hryvnias and dollars. So we came up with the hypothesis that if users see the price in dollar, which is a foreign currency for Ukrainian, that could scare them because the amount could seem really expensive. But after removing the price in dollars and keeping only the price in hryvnias, the micro conversion of adding the product to the cart increased more than 11%. We noticed this type of user behavior when we were analyzing data in and the web visitor records. We can see this a bit later. Moving on, landing pages and exit pages. That's you can see also in like at this example. That's Google Analytics. On the screen, like you can see, you can monitor these metrics, and that is there you should start to generate your first hypothesis and potential user interface improvements. Here you can see the top list of the entry pages and see the exit rate from them. So you have to think about this, if it is normal or not, and what should be in the top list of your visual audit approach. Well, like I can give an example, like on Light Store, beauty product, cosmetic. Like the main landing page was a list of product. Then the user reached the end of the funnel, the checkout page. There was a very high exit rate. So we noticed that the block were located illogically. There were lots of problems with the order form. So we simplified the order form, structured information, and got rid of extra form fields due to the correct visual hierarchy. The conversion of passing the checkout increased by 20%. Well, the next I would go with devices, desktop, mobile, tablets, metrics. So it is not a secret that mobile traffic usually prevail desktop in many projects. And it's important to understand the magnitude of these differences. Because of the normal ratio rate is like 70-75% of mobile users make a purchase on your site, it is crucial to keep in mind that the mobile indicators will always they differ from the desktop version. And according to our research, like on average, the conversion rate on desktop is like 20-25% higher than on mobile. That is why often optimization of the mobile website version is a priority. Like for example, while conducting a usability audit for the website of kids swimwear from the United Kingdom, Sinuva, we identified the following problems. So when users go to the size guide, it's not obvious to them how they can go back to the previous page or close the pop-up. It might be unclear to user what they at the bottom of the same page they have to scroll up to the page to go back. They might go back to the product page and as a result leave without adding the item to the cart. Like our recommendation was like for solving this problem to add an animation so that user could watch the page scrolling down so they understand that the path they are passing. What else should you consider? Like mobile devices and browsers, all pages and their indicators, view in depth, page load speed versus bounce rate to better understand like technical issues. And you also need to study behavior flow. So, well, and in Adobe, I think there is like the same report, but in Google Analytics, like it shows the user behavior on your site and like what or product and whether they go for like, for example, we notice that when a user goes to one of the product list page, like he stops suddenly and goes not to further in the funnel. In this case, like entering the catalog, the user does not continue their journey. However, when entering the homepage, the user keeps moving through the site. So we conclude that the homepage works well, while the catalog and the product list are to be improved. So you control these flow step by step and understand what users are going like from step by step and what their exit rate like from each steps. And as a conclusion for this block, the use of data in the information of hypotheses add value to them and has a high probability to being embedded in the product. Often numbers can tell more about user than they can tell about themselves. Yeah, let's talk about qualitative data. So the main task of the qualitative data, the core task of it is to get the context of how the product is used, like how, when, and why we used it, the way users are clicking on something at the moment or interacting with something in such a way that we can get all the insight without direct interaction with the target audience. To do this, you can use the following tools. Well, I personally use like Hotjar and PlayerD, but I know that my colleagues, they can use like VWO. That depends on the product and business. So yeah, well, what's inside this product that you can find? This can be like heat maps and scroll maps that allow us to see the target audience engagement while interacting with the with pages and like specific page and its element. Like we can watch user session, in other words, like how they interact with the pages within a session and how they complete a particular action. This can be surveys, selected steps to clarify the user, detailed feedback, and understand why they leave at the like specific point. Also, beside that watch the user session record to evaluate the user specific behavior. Yeah, let me talk a bit an example like by using Hotjar. Yeah, so Hotjar, that's the tool that allow you to collect high quality data with the help of heat maps, scroll maps, session recorders, funnel analysis, form analysis, surveys, like different surveys, and all these features like work for like different devices. So you can use it like desktop, mobile, like for tablet as well. So you can share and analyze them like for the different devices. So what is like a heat map? So you see there the user clicks and how they behave on the page, what areas like attract them and which zone they ignore. With this information, you can generate hypotheses like for improving the project, compare data from analytics and match it with Hotjar's data that would help to create more strong hypotheses. Scroll maps, like you see how long your potential buyer scroll and you can like draw conclusion whether he sees all the information that needed to pass this part of the funnel or not. For example, this report on the scroll map, like of one of our project, like we saw like that user did not see the block with answers for the most frequently asked questions. So therefore, we raised this block higher to relieve like our call center. So yeah, that would be that was helpful for them. And session records. Well, it shows like how the user interacts with your website, what they pay attention to, and where they go to like further. So you can watch the whole session of user by using this tool. Well, let's sum up this part. Like a truly high quality UX audit only works with a comprehensive approach when we consider like quantitative data from analytics and qualitative experience testing result of the interface of the analyzed sign along with the best practice sites. Only by using these three components like visual problems confirmed by data and additionally indicate the factual user behavior, we can get like the whole qualitative hypothesis to implement and verify them. Like the more data we have in the better hypothesis we generate, the more likely to improvements will work. Only relying on our hypothesis based on the interface, there are a tiny chance that in the A/B test, when we run it, that will be qualitative false. Only 60-70%, I would say, like of such experiments, they fail. Yet, if we see the problem on the website, have confirmed of this problem, by data and see non-standard user behavior on heat maps and session recorders, like we can make such and much more like a comprehensive like hypothesis implemented, and be more likely to get a qualitative increase, and what growth will be dramatically higher. Yet the situation occurs when there may be 40, 50 hypotheses generated depending on the project size. And then there is the question of what to do with them if we have like such a big list. We can structure them according to their importance. To do that, we use the pipe principle. So what it is? So it is stands for like potential, importance, and ease. So let's talk about them. Potential. These are the most problematic pages with high growth potential, like based on analytics, audit, and customer feedback. For example, like exit from the checkout, like the last part of the funnel, or like consultation form, as we discussed, that could be one of the part of our funnel. Micro conversion and importance. That's the second part of this approach. The priority of pages with a lot of traffic, but thus have the highest impact on conversion. Like ask yourself, what is the more important for business process? An article to add or to check and repair, or a product list. That of course that would be product list. And ease, like how many resources will be needed to test these hypotheses. Like, okay, let it be like 10 hours for your programmer, like 5 hours to your designer, and then like 10 hours to your analyst, UX analyst, like to run these A/B tests. So that would be about like $1,000 more even. As a result, you get a list of prioritized hypotheses that with minimum effort allow you to get a good effect. So you actually have your own to-do list by structure these hypotheses by using this pie approach. So UX audit is the first step to develop your project and increase its income and KPIs. Well, UX audit give opportunities to increase business revenue, to get a user-friendly product that make user want to stay, to improve understanding of the needs of the target audience, to get ahead of the competition, to stay on the wave since everything changed, like both product and user that could be changed. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for your attention. Yeah, if you have some additional questions, there you can see my contacts, so you can send me them yeah, in a direct message. Yeah, Anton.
Max, thank you for a great speech. Sure, we have some questions. Twin Concepts Design asked you about what parameters are the most significant to monitor. Can you share your usual funnel you use?
Well, if we are talking about data, so that would depends on, I would say, like depends on the project. So that could be like behavior in KPI. That could be like the regular KPI, like purchase or something like this, if we're talking about e-commerce. So it always depends.
Okay, thank you. We have a question from Patrice McDowell about certificate. Patrice, unfortunately, on our webinars, we don't provide certificates, but you can enroll to any on our courses on Udemy or our course on digital marketing specialist on Skills Booster, and we have certificate there. The next question, we have prepared questions from our listeners and students. How much time takes UX audit? What about average time? What can you tell about this, Max?
Well, our average UX audit like takes about like 40 hours, but I think that could be depends also in a like topic of this product. So there is non-regular for us that could take some more time. And also the result of UX audit also depends on time that you involve in it. So yeah, but I think that's the week is enough to get like 10 strong hypotheses to A/B test.
Our students ask, do you have any kind of checklist for UX audit, and can you share it?
Yeah, I'm already shared this, so you can use this QR code to get 170 plus yeah, ideas how to check your own or like to use for like business goals. Yeah.
Great, thank you. We will
Yep.
send this checklist to our students, and we will share it in chat. The next question, what is about bad UX audit and main mistakes? Can you share the main mistakes which are usual during the UX audits?
Yeah, I think like the main idea of a bad UX audit, that's the hypothesis that made only by like sharing your own experience. That doesn't work because like if you are taking e-commerce like project, that could be different different audience like from the same area of e-commerce shop. So ideas from one to the next to the second that they couldn't be useless. So you have to rely on quantitative and qualitative data too to create the whole, the main like and the strong hypothesis. Your idea is just only your idea, and for like normal business that wouldn't be work. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have a question in chat from Twin Concepts Design. Got to go now. Can we watch the stream later? Yeah, sure. All videos of our webinars you can find on this YouTube channel. So don't forget to subscribe, put like to this video, and see other our webinars on this YouTube channel. The next question we have from our students, it's about how to deal with SEO requirements while improving UX. Which of them confront each other, and which you recommend to be done during the process activities. So SEO and UX, do they help each other or they confront?
Well, I think they that's the two parts of the product, and they have to work together. So that always, as I said before, like depends on the specialist that you work SEO. I know like normal great guys from like this department, and also one not of the greatest. Yeah, so they can put some sticks in your wheel while working. So yeah, I think that would be something in the middle, so you can find the whole solution. There should be some things like that you have to improve by like using SEO, but yeah, so that shouldn't be work in a bad way for your UX UI solution. Yeah, so you have to work in pair and find your like best solution together, because everything you have like done and doing, that's for user and business, so you're working together for this.
We have my favorite question about toolkit. What tools are the best for conducting UI UX audits and collecting results? You named a lot of them. Maybe you can just summarize 3 of your favorite tools.
Well, like personally, I used Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, and Hotjar. Also, like for like visualization data, I used Google. I got it. Data Studio. Yeah, Google Data Studio.
Is there any best way to communicate key findings to the client team? How you usually present your results?
Like as I mentioned like before, so if you are talking with business or like team who are like involved in this product, so the main idea is to present your hypothesis by strong position of data. So if we are talking about business, they are like talking in the language of money. So you have to tell them that, okay, now we can see like the key metrics of your product, and we think they are not good enough, and we can improve them because of this, and this. So that would be strong point that you have to like discuss with them, and that would be your like strong pitch.
So I don't see the questions right now. I think that maybe some of them will get at the comments. Thank you for your time, guys. Thank you that you visited our webinar today. I want just to make a quick recall that we have all our webinars on our website, skillsbooster.net. You can find there the next session. The next session will be on the 30th of August, and we will talk about, do small business need a marketing strategy? So if you really need a marketing strategy and you need to develop one, don't hesitate with that webinar. And also on the 6th of September, we will get webinar with me personally. I will talk about digital marketer career, how to start your digital marketing career, and how to do it better. Our next big conference will be in October. It will be Social Media Marketing Day, SMM Day Free Online Conference. It will be on the October 5th, so you can just register on our website and find some additional details. Max, from my side, I want to say thank you. It was a really great speech and great answers to the questions. Thank you to be with us, and have a great evening, and see you on our next events.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.